This is a showdown of Jacob and his brother Esau. And the Torah says that to appease his brother, Jacob bowed down 7 times to his brother, as did his entire family. The mystics tell us that bowing had a price. In that, since that point, they bowed to Esau and what Esau represents, namely the power of Amalek. Amalek, we know, the archenemy of the Jewish people, the unreasonable, unadulterated hatred to the Jewish people. The essence of evil is a grandson of Esau. Amalek is the son of Eliphaz, the son of Esau. And by Jacob and his entire family bowing to Esau, for right or for wrong, they subjugated themselves now, and therefore Amalek, in a sense, has a power against the Jewish people, which we saw later. They battled the Jews, and we're still remembering them. We're still sort of dealing with them until Mashiach comes. It's like the eternal war of the Jewish people against the power of Amalek, this power of evil that somehow we can't crush. It's because of that moment when we bowed and subjugated ourselves symbolically and spiritually to the power of Amalek. How are we going to overcome it? So the Midrashic writings tell us a fascinating thing, that while all the children of Jacob who were alive at the time bowed to Esau, there was one son who did not bow to Esau, namely Benjamin. And you know why? He simply wasn't alive yet. He wasn't born till the end of this week's Torah portion. And therefore, Benjamin is our hope. Benjamin did not bow to Esau and therefore did not bow to Amalek. Aha! It's Benjamin's tribe that will be able to overcome Amalek. And therefore, notice, the first Jewish king, King Saul, is from Benjamin. One of the first jobs that he's given, which incidentally he failed in that task, was to take down Agag, the king of Amalek. Why King Saul? Why not King David and others? Because King Saul from the Benjamin line, he can do it. When he failed, it was revisited again on Benjamin's progeny, on Benjamin's children, in the story of Purim. Haman is a direct descendant of Amalek. Mordechai and Esther are from the tribe of Benjamin, as stated clearly in the Megillah. Why Mordechai and Esther? Why was it that the leaders of the Jewish people were from Benjamin? Because to combat Amalek, which is the Haman, which is the one that wants to see us all gone, the final solution, God forbid, we need Mordechai and Esther. We need the Benjamin tribe. And in that case, they were victorious. Friends, what's the lesson? Benjamin is the youngest. Symbolically within each of us, it represents the Pintel Yid, the little tiny spark within each of us that is always connected to Hashem. And while Amalek, the power of evil, the power of sin, the power of negativity, the power of doubt, the Hebrew word Amalek is the same numerical as the Hebrew word safek, doubt. You see, there are a lot of negative energies and negative forces that the animal soul can visit on us. Like instead of love, we can be hit with lust. And instead of real strength, we can be hit with anger. But we can combat them with the other side because it's a reasonable conversation. Don't lust, you should love. Don't have anger, you should show real inner constraint and strength. Ditto that for all the 7 nations, which symbolically represent the 7 characters of the soul, in which case, in all of these cases, there is a battle, but you can win it. The good guy can win the bad guy and bring him over even. The godly soul within us can overcome the negative because they're sort of compatible and balanced, and it's a reasonable conversation. Don't lust, you can love. Don't be angry, you can show real strength of character, etc., for all the 7. But Amalek, you see, is an unreasonable commitment to evil. Amalek is the equivalent of the word doubt. He just is a cynic. You can inspire him, you can tell him everything about Hashem, and he just says, well, maybe not. There's no answer to that. If we want to be cynical and doubt, maybe not, there is no answer. By the way, doubt doesn't just only mean doubt in Hashem, it trickles down to doubt in oneself because the two are connected. If I doubt myself, if I don't understand my place in life is real, my soul's mission is real, and that I really matter, by extension, I'm doubting Hashem, I'm doubting the whole plan, and that is debilitating, you see. It's not a small minutia. It's not I got a problem with one attribute or another that I have to tackle and deal with and try to find the positivity within it, like by all the other 7 nations, symbolically representing the 7 parts of my soul, which can be good or bad or indifferent, and I have to balance it out and find that equilibrium. Once I'm hit with self-doubt, if I don't think I really matter, which by extension means I don't really believe that there's a God who made everything and who makes me and knows my name and I need to be here, life is just meaningless. There is no answer to that except for Benjamin. Translation, except for the pintel yid, the essence of the soul, the part of our soul that never becomes adulterated, never loses its way. No matter come what may, the essence of the soul remains pure and whole, and that's the part of us that redeems us. That's the Benjamin tribe that never bows to Esau, never subjugates to Amalek. And when we come with that voice of cynicism and negativity, who knows if there really is a God? Who knows if the Jewish thing really matters? Who knows if God knows my name and that my life really matters? Benjamin stands up and said, I'm not bowing to you. Are you kidding? The pintel yid shouts, of course there is a God. Of course I'm part of the mission, and I'm going to go ahead and do that mission. It's been further said that Benjamin was born in a tragic moment. His mother just died. In fact, his father wanted to give him the name Benjamin because the mother called him Benoni, the son of my affliction. And Jacob quickly flipped it to Binyamin, the son of my right hand. So it's been said that this might be a reference to the later generations, you see. You know, people often lament that there's no hope for the kids. After the passing of Mother Rachel, symbolically, let's call it after the Second World War, we have a whole generation gap. We lost that whole very, very religious generation. Or you might say after October 7th. You know, coming into modernity, Mother Rachel is gone. Translation, our bubbies and zadis of the past are gone. And we look at a young generation of Jews in the modern world, and we say, Benoni, it's my child of affliction. They don't know which way's up. They never saw a shtetl or a cheder. Turns around Jacob, the father of the Jewish nation, and says, are you kidding? This is Binyamin. This is the son of my right hand. I want to say that the Rebbe is the Jacob of our generation. He didn't see the modern Jew as lacking of the shtetl experience. To the contrary, the fact that the modern Jew in the state of total freedom, without the peer pressure of the shtetl, chooses to connect. And look what happened post-Second World War, the revolution, the 60s and the 70s. So many thousands came back to Yiddishkeit. And we're seeing it again post-October 7th. You might say, instead of Benoni, instead of us giving up and saying, woe is to me, we have no future, the young people are turning around and saying, Binyamin, I'm going to be your right hand, I'm going to stand strong. With Yiddishkeit, the pintel yid is alive and well, and we're seeing it more and more with each passing day. Reminds me of the great modern story that a colleague of mine running a Chabad somewhere in the middle of nowhere in Oregon, he gets an email from a Jew living in the sticks. There isn't a trace of Jewish life in that area. And the email says, Rabbi, I got a question. What's your question? Says the Jew, I want to get out of Judaism. I'm Jewish, but I want out. Is there a bracha that I can say to opt out? You see the beauty in that? Here's the Jew that you might say is the most lost Jew. He wants out, but he knows there's got to be a bracha. He feels that connection. He feels that connection. That's the Benjamin. It's tiny. It's like the youngest child. It's the essence of the soul. It's a pintel yid, a spark. But it's a spark that never goes away. It's a spark that's looking for a bracha to say. And it's a spark that will take us over the threshold of exile when we will greet Mashiach and finally be victorious against Amalek in the merit of our youth and of that essential Yiddish pintel yid.